let me introduce you to the man, the legend. Where's he at? Mr. Dustin Holston, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Dustin Holston. Good morning, Dustin.
Good morning. How are you?
I am blessed and highly favored, sir. How are you this morning?
I am the same. Woke up refreshed and ready to rock and roll today. My son's got a basketball game. I'm going to go to the gym. Might do a little hike in my neighborhood. I don't know. I'm motivated today.
Okay, that's awesome. I'm so glad. A hike sounds really good this morning.
Yeah, it's pretty
A
here
hike
in
sounds.
West Virginia. It's cold today. We've been blessed with some abnormally warm weather the last week or two, and this morning it's a little chilly, but we're gonna make it. Plus, I like wearing hoodies, so it's like the perfect weather for
Right.
hoodies. No big
It
deal.
is definitely hoodie weather, as you can see. It's a little chilly here this morning. It's only 61 in Atlanta, and it's cloudy, but it doesn't matter because I feel good inside, and I hope that you guys do too. I was just telling them that I was so blessed to be able to meet you earlier this year and be able to work out with you. Like, listen, not everybody gets that opportunity. Tell us a little bit about how it got started with you doing the events that you have, like you had in Atlanta earlier this year.
Yeah, so for years and years and years, me and my top coach Courtney, who's really one of the top women's weight loss coaches in America, she's lost 150 pounds herself, severe PCOS, infertility issues, and she was a client of mine a long time ago, and she said that she wanted to start coaching, and I said, "Hey, become a nutritionist and personal trainer. I'll hire you on the spot." And not too long later, she was like, "Okay, done." And I was like, "Done with what?" She's like, "Oh, I'm a nutritionist and personal trainer now." I was like, "Okay, let's go." But years ago, we decided that when we first started it, it was more we did more educational seminars. So we'd pick
Okay.
places on the East Coast that we would go, and we'd come in and do like a nutritional seminar, take people to lunch, and go from there. But we soon learned that although that was an effective way to educate, it wasn't an effective way to build a community. And
Okay.
so we totally revamped that about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And it became, hey, look, let's just have some amazing client events all over the country. Obviously,
Oh,
we were in Atlanta, we were in Myrtle Beach a couple months ago, Orlando, Arkansas, DC, St. Louis, and we're in Nashville in December, and we just
okay.
call them client appreciation events, TikTok appreciation events. We open it up for the public. As long as you register, you're more than welcome to come to any of our events. And
Okay.
Jersey will be in Nashville here very soon. I thought TN. I don't know if TN is Tennessee. If it is, we'll be there in second weekend in December. But we just decided it
Yeah.
was much more fun to combine education, fitness, and fun at these events. So, like at the Atlanta one, we did the Atlanta Braves game. We had a
Yeah.
really good time there. Then we did the group workout in Myrtle Beach. We did Dave and Buster's. We went to Margaritaville
Okay.
Bar. We went so we try to plan it where we're building the community up because
Okay.
some people don't have really a friend on their journey, right? And
Right.
luckily now with TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and text messages and things like that, you can find a workout buddy that doesn't have to live in your neighborhood. You
Right.
might have somebody like we had people fly in from Texas, Atlanta, a lot of places in our Myrtle Beach trip where people got to meet other people on their either GLP-1 journey or on their weight loss journey that they can now
Okay.
relate to and be like, hey, I met somebody that's on a similar path as me, and now I have a buddy that I can check in with and things like that. So, long story short, we're trying to build the community up, apply education, and really have fun. That's kind of what we want to do.
And that is definitely what happens. Like, I was pleasantly surprised. I was there for a couple of hours, got some workouts in, but it was fun. It was a fun experience a fun atmosphere. And like, I am still struggling with those wall push-ups, but I'm going to get to the floor at some point. But it's just the point of that I have that to do, right? Like, just, and listen, if you haven't met Courtney in person, Courtney's body is goals, okay? Courtney's body is goals. So I would definitely check them out if they're in a city near you. But I kind of want to switch gears because I I know that you guys work with people. How does mindset come into a fitness journey? But when
Oh
before you
boy.
get started,
There's a few ways to take this, or what directions to go, but everybody, everybody wants, I say that loosely, but everybody wants to get where they need to be with their health and fitness journey, but
right,
it's not always the right time. And I'll give you an
right.
example. Like, my birthday's Christmas. I turned 41. Um,
Really, you're
I'm
a Christmas baby?
am a Christmas baby, but I can tell you that I'm probably not going to be dieting near the holiday. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna enjoy some food. My son loves baking me cookies, and I'm going to eat those cookies. So sometimes there's a legitimate reason why it's not the right mindset to start your journey. It might be because you're taking care of a parent, or work is incredibly stressful right now. And
Right.
so a lot of times you want it, but at the same time, there are legitimate excuses. I am not somebody that's a coach that's like, you don't have a good excuse. Yeah, there are such things as
Okay.
good excuses, right? But at the same time, I think what people miss out on is that you don't have to go 0 to 100. You can go 0 to 20. You can barely hit
Okay.
the speed limit. That's okay. And so what we teach is a more sustainable lifestyle, and if you can only do a few things, take a 30-minute walk daily, or maybe
Right.
replace a unhealthy meal with a protein shake, or and some fruit, or whatever it is. It doesn't mean you have to track your calories perfectly, and hit your
Okay.
protein every single day and work out every single day. And it can be building the mindset up, and then you set yourself up with some wins, and you're like, wow, I lost 1.5 pounds this week, and I'm only taking an extra walk each day. What else can I do? And
Right.
so sometimes, and I'll give you an example of Courtney. She went balls to the wall. She lost 110 pounds the first 10 months as a client of mine. And
What?
that's her mindset. Her mindset is it's all or nothing. Then I have other clients. It's like, hey, give me 2 or 3 tasks to work on. And then once I start feeling that this is working and that I'm moving in the right direction and don't feel overwhelmed, then it's like, hey, Dustin, what else can I do? But if your
Right.
mindset isn't right, you're someone who's a little bit overwhelmed in life. It doesn't mean that you can't start working towards your goal with just incorporating a few tips here and there. Start feeling better, get your life in check, and the next thing you know, you're able to really push yourself. But Omar, you're exactly right. For some people, it is that all or nothing attitude, and I'm not going to stop you if that's what you want to do. But for a lot of people too, it's just like, man, life is super stressful right now. I don't
Right.
I don't have time for this or this or this. And then we give you a 10-minute workout you can do in your living room, or you can take a walk each day, or you can replace that unhealthy meal with some fruit and a protein shake or egg white, whatever it is. But
Right.
mindset is everything. Sometimes it's not the right time to go 0 to 100, and sometimes it's just the right time to go 0 to 10. So
Right. I would you compare that to habit stacking, like in the journey, how they say that you should habit stack to have those things in place? I would compare that to habit stacking. And I completely agree because when I say I was going hard and didn't see the results that I wanted to see, but then when I kind of pulled back to with my strength training to like 3 days a week, the scale started moving again, like the inches started inching again. But I was doing it like 5 days a week hard, right? Sometimes six. And I was like, something's not working. I gotta make a change. And when I did is when I saw the results. So that is absolutely wonderful advice. I want to ask you though, would you encourage someone who is just starting their journey to work out, or start the medication first and then start incorporating working out into it?
This is a phenomenal debate. And actually, I just did a, TikTok live 2 days ago that kind of brought this up. Um, if you can work out, I think you should. So when we look at studies, we look at success rates, we look at increasing fat burning, losing more weight on GLP-1, helping to protect muscle losses, which is one of the biggest what I say negatives that we can negate relatively easy.
Right.
Working out's going to do that. Now, on the flip side, what is a workout, right? And so some people think a workout has to be an hour in the gym, or it has to be this, you got to go to the gym, you got to lift weights, you got to do this. And really, that's not the definition of working out. Really, working out is just putting your body under a little bit of stress, right? And
Right.
so your body has to work a little bit harder. And whether this is wall push-ups, which obviously we taught it in Atlanta, or if it's squats to the chair, or if it's standing crunches, so you don't have, maybe you just can't get on the floor and you don't really know what to do for your abs. And by the way, a standing crunch, just because I'm interested in teaching. So what you do is
Okay.
put your hands above your head and push forward a little bit. What you're looking for is pretend like I'm getting ready to punch you in the belly. You know how you tense up a little bit? That's a crunch.
Right.
That's the only sensation you need to feel is from here to here. So if you're unable to get on the floor, that's okay. Now you have an ab workout that you can do standing up. And so I think we
Hmm.
make working out too hard. We assume
We
that we
do.
have to. I got a bodybuilding show.
Absolutely.
I'm doing the West Virginia next Saturday, so root me on.
Okay.
But I'm in and out of the gym, and if I'm not doing cardio in the gym, I'm in the gym 40 minutes, and I'm a bodybuilder, or you know what I mean. So we don't have to overemphasize. Working out is good. Now, if you want to start off with taking walks until you start building up that cardio capacity and things like that, absolutely. But if we're trying to maximize weight loss, specifically fat burning, resistance
Okay.
training is by far the best. What up, Bloom? I got Zeppy and Bloom, two of my clients in here, so I'm excited. So
Yeah.
Bloom was in
Okay.
Atlanta, so she came in for the Atlanta event too. So
Really? I don't think I met Bloom, but welcome. Okay. So you're saying that if you can, maybe just start with a walk, some resistance bands, some five, because I started off with five, but when I came to the event, some of us were working out with 3 pounds, and I was like, really, this is what I was supposed to start? And it's small movements, right? Like, it was nothing overwhelming, and I kind of felt like, man, this ain't gonna do nothing, this little 3 pound weight, like, but it's just the movements and moving the muscles that you've never moved before is when I started being consistent with it and seeing progress. Now, I just recently experienced a shoulder injury because I thought I wanted to hang out with the big girls like Coco and Lady Puff in here, and I went up to 10. And I think I went up too fast, and I was trying to do the same movements that I was doing with the five, and I just messed my shoulder up for a couple of weeks. Right. So when I did go back, I went back to five. I was just like, let's start off slow, because normally I would go back to 10. Right. But I was just like, that's not a good idea. Let's warm this thing back up and start off with five. Is that something that you would suggest to your clients to do after an
absolutely.
injury? Okay.
Start off slow, definitely. And the other thing is don't get caught up with what's the weight on the side of the or the number on the side of the weight. Like, oh man, I'm only doing 3 pounds, or I'm only doing 5 pounds, or I'm only doing 1 pound. What we have to
Right.
remember is all we're doing to maximize what we call it hypertrophy, but to maximize muscle growth. And I don't mean to make you a bodybuilder. I just mean to help you get that lean tone physique. All you're doing is trying to put the muscle under enough stress to feel it, right? So if you feel
Okay.
that blood flow going to your muscle, you feel a little bit of your biceps are a little bit sore at the end of your workout or
Right.
a little bit tired, That means you're sending blood flow to the muscle, right? One of the other
Okay.
things that's imperative to maximize results on exercise, and I'm sorry, guys, if you don't know me, I'm the biggest nerd in the world. So I'm, I'm a science-based nutritionist and coach, so bear with me. I try to simplify it, but the tension. So the actual moving of the weight up and down, that stretch on the muscle where you're at the top, you're at the bottom, that and blood flow are two of the most important things to actually help you get that lean tone physique from a resistance training standpoint. And it
Okay.
doesn't mean you have to bench 500 pounds for that to happen. So it's really relatively I don't say easy because nothing's easy in this world, but
Right.
simplify. Just
Okay.
simplify it. You want blood flow to the muscle, and you want to make sure that you're stretching that muscle right when you're working. When you're getting that stretch going down, and boom, that's what actually is going to give you the results you need. Doesn't matter if it's 2 pounds or 200 pounds. It's about that. Well, thank you guys. I'm definitely a geek. I People ask me all the time, "What books do you read?" And I'm like, "Well, clinical studies, uh, and astrophysics.
Really?
I'm obsessed with astrophysics. So love
What?
astronomy. Actually, you can see my big telescope right there in the corner of my office. So definitely
Wow.
definitely a geek. But I don't read anything that's not health based or astronomy based. So I'm a
So
nerd. I
so
that
so no Daniel Steele, no erotica, none of that. Just straight
not
science.
anymore. I read them
Okay.
all. Every
'Cause
single book in my life, and they just ran out.
okay. So I want to know, what are some of the common challenges that some of your patients or your clients, I'm in healthcare, so everyone's a patient to me, but some of your clients experience, and how have you helped them overcome them?
It still is the simplification of the process. So many
Okay.
people, and I'll go a little bit different direction too. But again, unfortunately, we rely so much on TikTok or we rely so much on Instagram to get our education associated with diet and exercise. And I can
Okay.
tell you that, oh, Zippy, you're top five. You're not the first. But but we rely on information that may or may not be helpful for our journey. Like I'll give you the example of keto. You know,
Okay.
keto is the most restrictive diet in the world, right? And on Mayo Clinic, they rated the 30 best diets, and it finished 28th out of 30th. 29
Mm.
Optavia or Optavia, and 30 was Slim Fast. So when we start
Wow.
thinking too highly of restriction, just because somebody we saw on the internet or on TikTok says keto's the best diet, we start, it's more of a confirmation bias. It seems like everything you hear then after watching that person, because the algorithm is keto's the best, keto's the best, keto's the best. Or
Yep.
what we get a lot is hey, I'm going to lose weight and then tone. But when we really look into the nitty gritty, you can do both at the same time. And so lack of quality education is a hindrance for a lot of people. And that's why I go live every single day. That's why I try to make a TikTok post every single day. But I think that coming up with a sustainable lifestyle is the hardest part of anybody's health and fitness journey. And, I got Bloom, I got Zippy on here that are clients of ours. We teach you how to eat pizza with your family on a Friday night and still lose weight. Like, we don't,
Hmm.
Nikki, I love you too. But I think it's just overcoming either A, the fear, because look,
Okay.
95% of diets fail, right? And
Right.
and some people hear that number, and I'm like, no, think about it. I mean, even from my perspective, how many times have I said I'm going to start dieting on Monday, and by Wednesday, I eat
Right.
an entire pizza with my family, and I have to start over? Well, technically, that was a fail, but I don't want you to think of it that way. But,
Okay.
when we start being overly restrictive or we're utilizing other people's advice, which isn't like when we coach people, we coach on the individual level. We look at, your goals, obviously, but meds and med conditions. And, if we see some hormonal issues that we want to fix and things, it gets overwhelming because what could work for some TikTok influencer may not be able to work for somebody else. So I think it's just being overwhelmed, not knowing where to start, and then believing you can actually do it. Broderick, my man,
Right.
yeah, Broderick's absolutely crushed it. I love it because he's in my lives all the time. He's commenting all the time, and
That's
it's awesome.
awesome.
People be super successful. Coach Courtney. So Coach Courtney, is it Courtney? You missed it. Lett was talking about your beautiful body just a minute ago. You missed
Courtney,
it.
if y'all not following her, sorry, Dustin, but they gotta follow Courtney. Follow Courtney. Courtney's body is goals. Okay, I'll be quiet now.
But yeah, it's just in belief in yourself. You can do
Right.
it. When I've been coaching for 22 years, and when GLP-1 came out, I said, "Ooh, this is interesting." And so we
Right.
started, Courtney and I started diving into the research, and we're like, okay, appetite suppression, blood sugar and insulin regulation, which is super, super important. Most of us have insulin resistance. We hold most of our weight in our midsection. It means our body doesn't
Mm-hmm.
utilize carbohydrates correctly. Well, GLP-1 helps with that. But one of the
Right.
biggest ones as a coach for 22 years is binge eating or the addiction of food. And so when I started seeing that GLP-1 helps in the addiction centers, we actually have a client in LA that was an opioid addict and a alcoholic, and a binge eater, started GLP-1 therapies, got clean within 30 days. And so
Wow.
when I started researching about this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a game changer. But then Courtney and I looked at some of the negatives. And to us, and it's not the thyroid, it's not a lot of these things that people get caught up on. It's rapid muscle loss, it's some bone density issues that can happen, and nutrient deficiencies. And
Okay.
Courtney and I were like, okay, but those are easy to overcome, right? So let's take the negatives, make them positives, and there's really no negatives in our opinion, right? Now, of
Okay.
course, 1 in 1,000 may have this, or 1 in 10,000 have this, but on the scheme of things, for 99% of people, GLP-1 is a lifesaver. And so with us, we
Yes.
focus on the negatives, fix the negatives, so we can help you get a lean tone physique. We can help you prevent some of the nutrient deficiencies that happen, or whatever it might be. Turn those into
Okay.
positives and really help people out. But where I was going with that is with binge eating. Before before when we coached, we could guarantee amazing results for every single person. But the thing that
Mm-hmm.
held us back when it comes to what we call medical nutrition therapy, which is a fancy term just saying custom diets, custom meal plans, things like that, was
Okay.
if you were a binge eater, I can give you the perfect diet, but you can't cure binge eating with just diet and exercise, right? It's not
Right.
a For a lot of people, it's not a mindset thing. It's a true psychological addiction. And
Right.
so that was one of the best things that we read was like, oh my gosh, something that holds back millions of Americans because of the stress of life and being obsessed with food and making food a crutch and all of this, we got to overcome that with GLP-1. So Courtney and I were like, this is a game changer. I say it all the time. I think GLP-1, as it develops and gets better and better and better, we think
Okay.
that it will be a top 5 medicine ever created. I 100% believe.
Absolutely.
I
I
think
I
obviously
have to agree.
yeah, antibiotics and chemo and
Mm-hmm.
insulin, because if you're a juvenile diabetic or type 1 diabetic, you have to have insulin. So I think those are
Right.
always going to be my top three, and then I think GLP-1 can be 4, 5, or 6 quite easily.
Right, absolutely. I tell the team all the time, I'm part of Team TMI because we tell way too much of our information on here. But I told them that the Edwards pies used to be it for me. Like I would get the 2-pack and eat one before I even made it to the house. Like that, and since I've been on Monjaro, I haven't felt the need to do that anymore, right? Like, so that has changed, and I know that's the same for so many people. You just don't have the need to binge like you used to. So I would have to agree with everything that you're saying. I Someone in the comment wanted to know, how do you incorporate protein into your journey? and
Yeah.
prioritize it.
Yeah. So real quick, why do we need to prioritize protein? 76% more fat burning, 80% more weight loss and calorie counting alone.
Okay.
Helps with hair growth. When people are having thinning of the hair, more often it's two things. One, protein, because that's what the hair is actually made out of. So if you're not eating enough
Okay.
protein, it doesn't matter which hair, skin, and nail product you're taking. You don't have the. I mean, that would be like having a supercharger on your car with no gasoline. So we got to have protein
Right.
there. We know protein helps with thyroid function. We know protein helps with bone loss, which we're concerned with GLP-1. So when we start thinking about what protein actually does, that tells you that. Then you hear about your metabolic rate increases. So your metabolism goes up when you eat protein. It's the only way to get a lean toned physique, it's protein. Because when we say toned, what we're really talking about is showing off muscle under fat. So if we want to have
Right.
definition, you got to have muscle, and to have muscle, you need protein. So that's the scheme of why protein's important, because a lot of people don't realize, they think muscle or they think Arnold Schwarzenegger or they think bodybuilding, when protein does so much different things in the body than that. um so protein is difficult on your GLP-1 journey for a couple of reasons. Number one, your appetite's suppressed, and protein keeps you fuller longer versus any
Right.
other macronutrient. So compared to fats and carbs, protein digests slower, it keeps you fuller longer. So it is hard to get enough protein when you're on your GLP-1 journey. Now,
Okay.
advertisement, what we do for a living. So we would create you meal
Right.
plans to help you. We do free coaching consults. Go to my profile, click the stand link. You'll get on a call with either me or Courtney, and we'll talk about your goals. They're free. You don't have to sign up. If you do sign up, awesome. If you don't sign up, that's awesome too. No issues. So one, you want to spread it out, because you're because of the slowing of gastric emptying. In other words, being full so much on GLP-1,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to be able to eat 100 grams of protein in one meal. And so we got
Right.
to remember, we're trying to hit 100. Let's just say 100 here. And we do 3 meals and a snack. How do
Mm.
we get to 100? And so,
Okay.
like, I like level one shakes, which is a first form product mixed with Fairlife Ultra Skim. That's 38 grams of protein. And so now you
Okay.
have 62 left the rest of the day. If you do four
Okay.
ounces of grilled chicken, a cup of rice and some veggies, or if you do, I'm just throwing something out there, that's another
Right.
30, 34 grams of protein. So now we're at over 60, 72 grams of protein, and it's lunchtime. A piece
Okay.
of string cheese is 8 grams of protein. So if you do two pieces of string cheese, that's an extra 16 grams of protein. Now we're at over 80 grams of protein, and we haven't even had dinner yet. And
Right.
so for dinner, if you do, keep in mind, a 4 ounce piece of meat, just, I got big hands, but it's basically your palm, right?
Right.
And so then you have, whatever your favorite proteins, seafood, sirloin steak, 96% lean ground beef, center cut pork loin if you do pork. I said seafood already. Any type of poultry. If
Okay.
you're in our hunting states, venison is very lean, bison's very lean.
Right.
Um, you add an extra 4 ounces there. Now you're up over 110, 115, 120 grams of protein, and the meals are relatively managed. Now, here's the deal: your appetite, we want it suppressed. We don't want you not eating at all. You want to find
Right.
that balance, because with a lot of people, Courtney's obsessed with beef bottom round. She makes an amazing steak, and nachos out of it, and all kinds of stuff, and it's
Really?
not expensive, and it's as compared to other cuts of steak. She makes a
Okay.
mean steak. I've witnessed it. She does really good with that. But we got to spread it out. But we got to
Okay.
also make sure that if our appetite is overly suppressed, it never gets better unless you train your body. And so eating actually increases the metabolism. And so if you're someone that's struggling with 600 calories a day, the chances of you having long-term health issues, bone loss, atrophy, frailty, nutrient deficiencies, things like that, heighten greatly, right?
Right.
A 2 or 3 year old needs 1,000 calories a day. I do not believe anybody should eat less than 1,000 calories a day by any stretch of the imagination. But if
Okay.
we spread it out over the course of the day, we figure out what your favorite foods are. We have a 60 gram of protein Ninja Creamy ice cream recipe, which tastes freaking amazing. And it's made with a meal replacement shake, so it's an actual meal.
Okay.
Our nacho recipe is over 50 grams of protein. Our pasta recipe is over 50 grams of protein. And so, if we can spread it out over the course of the day and incorporate your favorite foods to get you there, it becomes very much easier than not. But it does take a little bit to train your body. When you resistance train, your body naturally becomes a little hungrier. So, that's one of the
Okay.
things you want to implement too if you're someone who's overly suppressed. You know, what do they call
Okay.
it? Eating like a pigeon is that what they call it? Pecking
Right.
at your food a little, able to finish.
Right.
The other thing I'll say really, really quick is you don't have to finish your meals, but you have to eat. And this is one of the
Okay.
things we incorporate easy is that if you don't have food prepared or easily prepared and you're not super hungry, you're not going to eat.
Right.
But if you can eat, 6 bites out of it, and over time that'll become eventually pushing you to eat more and more and more over time. But if you continue to skip meals, it'll never get better, it'll only get worse. So our
Okay.
body, you would think not eating, okay, I'm going to lose more weight, things like that, but for the long run you
Right.
want to learn how to fuel your body the right way. Bloom is down 120 pounds. She works with us. She's eating a lot more calories than most people think. Yeah, as Courtney, I know, Courtney, I bring all up all the time, but once we got her PCOS hormones optimized and the reduction, you
Mhm.
can't cure PCOS. Our goal is if
Right.
you have PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, we want you to manage your sides so that you don't really feel like you have it anymore unless you start
Okay.
going back to habits. But she was eating more calories than you would ever think and would still be losing every single week. So once you start optimizing those things, you will get hungrier, but not to a point where you're overeating. You're just going to be fueling your body the right way. So spread out your
You're right.
meals. Protein shakes are fine. And then, of course, we want to incorporate as much whole foods as possible.
Okay. No, I completely agree with everything because I was one of those people because you have years and years of toxic diet culture in your brain and you're fighting against what the medication is supposed to do, right? And you're fighting against all the things that are in your mind that they told you years ago and that you tried. Oh, well, if I eat less and move more, I'll do that. But most of us have done like the extreme of that and didn't eat and lost weight. And so we're like, oh, okay, that works. But then you get on the GLP-1 and it's just like, I'm supposed to eat and I'm supposed to eat this amount. It doesn't make sense in your mind, right? But once you start doing it, sorry, once you start doing it, you see the results. Like I was one of those people that I was not eating the way I was supposed to, and I was struggling. But then Sabrina and Teresa was just like, set a schedule, set an alarm on your phone to eat something, some protein every few hours. And once I started doing that, it just like, I don't want to say magic, but it started to change for me. So I agree with you 100%. The last thing I want to ask you though is the protein different for, well, I know it would be, but what would the protein be for somebody starting off their journey, in the middle of their journey, and now that they're at maintenance? Because I would think that that would be different.
It actually is kind of a trick question, but I would say that at the very beginning of your journey, our goal is to ramp it up a little bit more. So when we see studies to really maximize fat burning or really maximize weight loss or whatever it might be, it's typically a little higher than you think you can start off with. And so we
Okay.
tell people to shoot for 100 grams. If you can't get 100, give me 80. By the
Okay.
way, 0.36 times your body weight is the need of the body for what we call core processes. So if anybody can write this down, 0.36 times your body weight. That's how much
Okay.
protein your body needs for hair, skin, nails, nerve endings, organ tissue repair, muscle tissue repair, thyroid function, bone, cartilage, ligaments, all that good stuff. Okay. So that's the number that your body needs optimally to function correctly. Right. And for most people, we don't even eat that. Right. So
Right.
once we get that 0.36 times our body weight, then, and that number, if you're over 300 pounds, that number's probably a little bit higher than what you need, but for sake of arguing, 0.36 times your body weight. And then, once we can hit that number, once we go a little bit higher, we typically see more fat burning. And for most people, that's the goal. And then when they hit maintenance, they probably, hey, you know what? I want to lose a few more inches. I want to get a little bit leaner. I want to see some definition in my legs. I'm trying to build that booty back. By the way, Courtney's the booty queen. So if you want to build
She
that booty back,
is.
reach out
Yep, she sure is. Yep.
reach out to reach out to Courtney on that one. But so really in the scheme of things, our goal is to ramp up a little bit, and then once we get to that number, then we typically stay there. We may even, we could even increase it a little bit more at maintenance if you're trying to build back a booty or firm up the legs or things like that. But I like to ramp people up. But once they get to, the right number, typically it's just the right number to stick around to. So you don't have to make too many changes. Now, there's asterisks here. Now, if you do have chronic kidney disease, obviously you want to talk to your doctor to find out what the limit is for
Okay.
you. For
Right.
most people, though, most people eat less than 50 grams of protein a day, and every single kidney doctor I've worked with over the last, say 5 years, they typically put them at 80 grams. So even then, you're
Mm,
eating more protein than the average American is, even with chronic kidney disease. Now, real quick,
okay.
99.9% of Americans, you're not going to overeat protein. You're not going to cause any stress on the kidneys. What people get
Okay.
confused with is protein, the nitrogen from protein filters through the kidneys. And so we
Okay.
think that that's a bad thing. You're just making your kidneys work. That's okay. We're not
Got it.
concerned. We got to be concerned with if you already have known kidney issues, then we got to be mindful. But we're not talking about eating what we call super high amount of protein. We're not trying to get 200 grams or 300 grams for the majority of people. Normally
Okay.
we calculate that for you. We tell them to start at 100 and then kind of we'll figure out what the number is there for our clients. I have to be mindful because I do own a medical practice that I can't give exact numbers just for liability
Right.
purposes.
Right.
So
Okay.
I get that all the time. They're like, well, so what's my number? And I'm like, I don't know enough information. It could get me in trouble. I'm so
Right.
sorry. But for most people, 100 grams is a great place to start. And then from there, we can then start building you up or kind of figuring out what your need is based off of your goal, health conditions, weight loss goals, things like that.
Okay. So guess what? I am wearing my first form shirt that I got at the event, right?
There you go.
How does first form, how do you incorporate first form into your journey?
Yeah, so First Form is a supplement company, right? And so they're out of St. Louis. They're one of the few that use FDA approved manufacturing. So they
Okay.
actually get audited like a pharmaceutical company when it comes to the manufacturing process. So every single flavor change they have to completely clean out the vats that they make it in so there's no cross contamination, which you would think everybody would do, but it's not true. I'll give you an example, and I don't like getting other companies in trouble, but Redcon and Blackstone Labs out of Florida was caught putting steroids in their product, and everybody was like, wait, what? And what was happening was is they would make a steroid, which isn't legal, and then they wouldn't clean it out properly and then make protein in the same thing. And then there was trace amounts of steroids in their product. The owner spent, I think,
Really?
5 years in prison for it and was fined millions of dollars. And so
Oh
we got to
wow.
understand that supplement companies aren't regulated the same way as pharmaceutical companies and things like this. We know about, and I know a lot of people are going to get upset with this, but to look it up, look up bacteria and premier protein. In 2022,
Mm,
a major bacteria outbreak that was linked to meningitis. The FDA reported that it was huge quality control issues. And it's kind of the same thing if you don't, really optimize the manufacturing process. So, long story short, first form is their manufacturing is audited by the FDA. Supplements themselves are not regulated by FDA. So they're out of St.
Okay.
Louis, Missouri. They use clinical dosing for all their products. So if there's an ingredient in it, it's actually at the right dose to get the desired effects. All right.
Okay.
Well, and again, guys, I'm a nutritionist. I'm not a supplement salesman. What I tell people is a supplement something that supplement something that you're not getting in your diet. If you're getting enough fruits and veggies and you're getting enough whole grains, you're getting enough, healthy cuts of animal based products, things like that, then you're probably getting enough, say, vitamins or maybe even getting enough protein that you may not need a quality shake. For most people, though, they run short. I mean, I'm a nutritionist, and if I didn't take vitamins every day, I'd be in trouble. I don't eat anywhere close to enough fruits, veggies, whole grains, fermented foods, things like that
Right.
to optimize gut health and nutrients and things like that. And so, first form is a great option for folks. Um, Deborah, I have an easy way, super easy. If you go to my profile and click my Stan link, I have a ebook. I have tons of ebooks. I got a protein ebook on my favorite protein sources. I got the How to Maximize Results on GLP-1 ebook, but I also have supplements for GLP-1 ebook that kind of breaks down why you may want this product or this product over another one. So if you're obsessed with gut health, here's what you can do to fix your gut health, or here's a supplement to help you with it. And so I'm not trying to sell stuff today. I just want to provide as much quality information as possible. I'm a terrible salesman. I make that joke all the time with Courtney. But I do have a bunch of ebooks, or just message me privately. My inbox is open. I answer every single thing that gets sent to me, and I can kind of help you be pointed in the right direction. Because a lot of things, you see something that says fancy like fat burning, you immediately think you need it. But fat burners on GLP-1 kind of they don't work very effectively. And so I'd rather you order something that your body's actually going to be benefiting from than me just, to start, trying to sell you something or whatever it might be. I'm one of their master trainers. They actually have 10,000 coaches, and there's seven of us that's in charge of them. And so I'm in charge of teaching advanced nutrition. Go figure. So I teach that to folks. But
Okay.
yeah, we'd love to help you out, create a plan, whether it's with our customized coaching through advanced nutrition solutions or pointing you in the right directions, supplementation, things like that. I'll be glad to help out.
Okay. So this is the final question. I know you have to go to your son's game. Final question for people that weren't in here in the beginning. Thanksgiving is coming up, and what did you say you were going to do? You were going to eat your son's cookies. He
Oh
says
yeah.
to eat, right? Thanksgiving, because I it's so much going on around Thanksgiving right now for people that this is their first Thanksgiving on the GLP-1, and so they have a little bit. I'm I'm speaking for myself right now. When I'm talking to y'all, most of the time I'm talking to myself. But like so now I'm kind of my anxiety isn't as high as it was because like for right now, if I make a full plate of food, a lot of times I'll eat it the next day, like because I can't finish it. And so I imagine Thanksgiving is gonna be the same way. Like I can make the plate. I always say my eyes are bigger than my stomach because I can't finish it. But people still have a little anxiety around it. What would you suggest that they do?
All right, this is going to shock everybody. So we have 60 days left to the end of the year. So if I give you Thanksgiving and the next day, finish off those leftovers, that pumpkin pie. I'm a pumpkin pie fan. I'm a huge pumpkin. That's my
Okay.
favorite dessert ever is pumpkin pie. My mother-in-law makes a banging one. So if I give you Thursday and Friday Thanksgiving week, and then I give you Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and the day after Christmas, because maybe you have a couple parties to do, and I give you New
Okay.
Year's Eve. That's 6 days out of 60, which means you have 90% of the days that if you do pretty good, those 6 days aren't going to ruin your diet. And so I
Okay.
want you to enjoy food. And that's the way I want you to think about it is it's like, hey, look, if I'm good 90% of the time, I'm going to get amazing results. And Dustin's going to let me go off the rails 6 days this year. Now, I say that loosely
Okay.
because we do have an addiction to food. And for some people,
Right.
even having one cheat day can cause you to go off the rails. But I want you to enjoy time with your family. And that's one of the things that we teach is and I have multiple clients on here right now, is we teach you how to eat pizza and lose weight. We teach you how to eat pasta and lose weight. We teach you how to have nachos and lose weight. We teach you how to eat steak and potatoes, which is one of my favorite things, and lose weight, as Courtney will tell you. She's also a steak and potatoes girl. So we got to get out of the mindset that we have to be perfect all the time. If you're
Right.
perfect, if you're great 90% of the time and you go off the rails 10% of the time, you're still going to lose weight. You're still going to set yourself up for success. So I'm going to give you 6 days the rest of the year to just live life, and you're going to give me 90% of the time doing the right things. And guess
Okay.
what? You're going to see amazing results. If you don't know my Bob Evans mashed potatoes hack, okay, this is my hack, okay?
Oh, we getting the tip. Okay,
This
I'm
is
ready.
this is my hack. Actually, I'll give you two amazing
Okay.
hacks. Bob Evans mashed potatoes is 150 calories per serving. That's less than a baked potato. That's 50 calories less than a cup of rice. And you microwave them, and they taste great. Fun fact: my great grandmother's dad sold goods by horse and carriage to Bobby Evans in the early 1900s. So we actually are connected.
Really?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
about an hour and a half up the road driving, but I'm sure by horse it was a lot longer than that. But my great grandmother would be like, "Yeah, I know Bobby Evans." Yeah, that's what she would call him, was
Oh
Bobby Evans.
wow.
But anyway, so Bob Evans, 150 calories. Add some chicken or add some steak to the side. Add some vegetables of choice. It tastes really good. It takes 4 minutes in the microwave. It's 150 calories. The other hack, and
Okay.
if you're on my Facebook group, you saw me post about this yesterday. Aura Ida, is that how you say it? The potato
All
company, I
right.
think it's called Aura.
All
Yeah.
right.
Their steak fries is 90 calories per serving. That's if you don't deep fry them. So air fryer, oven bake, things like that. That's
Okay.
half as many calories as a baked potato, and you can have steak fries for 90 calories. You could eat two servings
Hmm.
of steak fries, and it's the same amount of calories as a baked potato. Now, am I saying French fries are
Really?
as healthy as a baked potato? But
Right.
what I am saying is from a caloric standpoint, they're the same. And so, if you want to have a serving of steak fries, it's 90 calories. If you want to have two servings of steak fries, it's only 180 calories. And so, and real quick, if you don't eat carbohydrates on your GLP-1 journey, you really want to talk to me because you should eat some carbohydrates on GLP-1. You shouldn't be going super low carb. You're actually wasting part of the benefit from GLP-1, which is blood sugar and insulin regulation. And so eat some potatoes, eat some rice, eat some mashed potatoes, eat whatever your
Mm.
vice is. Fruit. Don't be afraid of carbohydrates. Now, you shouldn't go
Okay.
crazy. Right. There's what we do is we give you a budget. So when you work with us, we're like, hey, here's kind of the amount of calories I want you to hit. Here's the amount of protein I want you to hit. You don't have to be perfect. Here's the amount of carbs you should hit. And if you want to spend it on nachos or you want to spend it on two slices of pizza with your family on a Friday night, and maybe earlier in
Yeah.
the day, you do an extra level one shake, you do our chicken broccoli stir fry for lunch to keep some carbs down. If you want to go
Okay.
crazy with two servings of French fries, go crazy with two servings of French fries. We make it as simple and sustainable as possible. But yeah, Bob Evans mashed potatoes, very, very
And
caloric
steak
friendly,
fries.
and steak fries are, and really, if you do like their shoestring fries, I think it's 110 calories per serving. So still 70 less calories than a baked potato. So air fryer is
Okay.
the best way though. Air fryer keeps them crispy and you don't have to use oil. So that's my hack.
Right. I I love the hacks. I love all the information. Tell them one more time how they can get in contact with you and the team.
Yeah. Yeah, so the easiest way is everything's in my profile. So if you go to the Stan link in my profile, it says Stan store. There's nothing for sale there, so it's not really a store. There, you can join my Facebook group of over 14,000. Got tons of free ebooks that you can download. You have the link to get free shipping on First Form supplements. But most importantly, guys, if you're someone like Bloom or Zippy or Chastity that's on here, and you're someone who really wants to maximize their results, teach you how to actually properly eat, help you get that lean tone physique, help improve overall health. We've helped countless ladies with infertility issues fix infertility. We've helped over 70 ladies with infertility issues get pregnant. We've had countless people reverse type 2 diabetes. We've helped people, overcome their cancer journeys. Obviously, with their doctor. I'm not trying to cure cancer through nutrition, but you
Right.
get my point. We can definitely help with a variety of goals. We have both the clinical side and the weight loss transformational side. So it's not just some one size fits all approach. You won't drink 7 shakes a day. You're not going to eat chicken and rice 7 times a day like some of these personal trainers give you. It's going to be a complete
Right.
customizable approach. Our coaching starts off at $105 a month for 12 months. We do other we normally, most people sign up for a year. We do other rates too, monthly, 6 months, whatever. But our most cost effective plan, which is still meal plan, workout plan, and weekly progress reports to check your progress and make changes, starts off at $105 a month for 12 months. So get on a free coaching consult with us. That's also in my profile. Click the stand link. You'll get on a call with either me or Coach Courtney. Talk about your goals. If we're the right fit for you, let's rock and roll. Let's do it. If we're not, that's okay. Maybe January comes and you're like, hey, I do want Dustin. Or we may have just treated you right, gave you some tips, and your friend asked, hey, I need a coach. And you're like, hey, Dustin's it. It's an investment in yourself, and we are not, look, we're either the right coach for you or not. We don't do high pressure sales. I don't have a credit card reader at the end of the call saying, okay, give me your credit card. No, like I send you links to check out. And when you're ready to check out, let's rock and roll. If you're not, that's okay. I'm glad I had the opportunity to talk to you on your goal. So that's my spiel, but I can take a few questions if you got time.
Okay, yeah, I do. Anybody in the comments have any questions? Because he answered all of mine. Because again, I'm asking questions for myself.
I
We're
do
gonna
not
give him
like.
a few minutes. We have some slow typers in here.
I'm
Okay.
trying to drink. I bought a 12 pack of Prime drinks, and I can't get into them. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah, I'm
I
finishing it
like
off.
Prime.
So I don't know. It's like I feel like there's an aftertaste of some sort, but I'm drinking
Okay.
them. I'm not wasting them. So,
Right. I know
because
that's right. We don't waste things.
yeah, we don't waste it. So we'll find it a home. So
Okay. Well, I want to thank you again, Dustin, for coming up. Um, okay, wait. So the questions are coming in now. So what are your feelings about collagen? Can you hear me?
sure, it's about the election. That's all. I am
Oh,
Bloom, I am 100% on board. I'm competing in the Mr. Western next weekend, and hitting my water goal, hitting protein, calories, resistance training, my cardio. I'm getting lean. I'm working on it. So collagen. This is a weird conversation. Collagen is only
why
good
weird?
for hair, skin, and nail. The,
Okay.
the nerdy answer is the amino acid content is weird, and so it alone can't
Okay.
help you on your quote unquote toning journey because it doesn't have the right amino
Okay.
acids. And what I see is people use a lot of collagen to help them hit their protein goal, but it's not necessarily the right protein for that. And so what I suggest is
Oh,
to add, like, if your protein goal is 100 grams, then and you want to do 15 grams of collagen, I want you to do 115 grams of protein total, 15 grams from collagen, 100 grams from non-collagen. Because if you're not eating enough protein, collagen can't fill that gap that you want. Now, collagen's
mm,
great for elasticity, bone, ligament, cartilage, hair, skin, and nails. Perfect for all those
right.
things. But I don't want you to rely on a collagen protein to hit your protein goal when it's not very effective for the things that we want to use protein for. So, like collagen, but make sure you're using it in addition to hitting your protein goal. So that way the collagen works for what it needs to work on. And then your protein is going to help you get that lean tone physique, burn more fat, lose more weight, all those good things.
Okay. So Alabama nurse wants to know, is a stall a clear sign that someone should go up in dose?
Man, I wish I had my whiteboard behind me because that's what I normally do. So let me use my analogy. I haven't done this one in a while because I normally do it. All right, so
Okay.
this is your metabolism, my Sharpie. This is your calorie consumption. As long as your calorie consumption is less than your metabolism, you have to lose weight. The body has to eat itself for fuel. We got to watch that though, because eating ourselves actually means fat and muscle. We don't want to lose the muscle. What happens with a plateau is your metabolism is slowing because most of the time rapid muscle loss. We're not eating enough protein. We're not giving our body what it needs. So over time, that metabolism drops. A plateau or stall is when your metabolism now equals the amount of calories you consume. So this isn't necessarily a medicine thing, although if you're eating too many calories because you're no longer getting the appetite suppression, then it could be. But what it normally is you've let your metabolism fall. And so to increase the metabolism, that's the resistance training, that's the protein, that's the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients needed for hormonal health. And that will actually cause your metabolism to increase without you having to starve yourself further. Now, if you're someone who's constantly hungry or binge eating's coming back, then that would mean that it's a GLP-1 issue um, in my thing. So, Alabama, message me like how much protein you're eating and things like that, and I can give you some tips.
Okay. So Lulu wants you to talk about working with folks that have limitations. How do
Yeah,
you work with folks with
yeah.
limitations?
So yeah, I mean, if you name a medical condition, we've worked with it. Since 2019, we've helped over 4,600 clients, and so we have some diversity. It's very seldom that Courtney and I see something we've never seen before. However, we just took a client yesterday with cerebral palsy. We've worked with clients, unfortunately, that have cancer, or they have fibromyalgia, or they have rheumatoid arthritis, or they have countless disabilities or complex medical conditions or complex hormones or autoimmune or PCOS or whatever it is. And if it's a disability from a muscle standpoint or whatever, we come up with plans based off that. If it's something to do with it, a variety of other health issues, we come up with plans with that. So we simplify the process and just come up with a plan for what the individual. I think that's the thing I want to keep stressing you know, Zippy's plan is not the same thing as Bloom's. It's not the same thing as
Right.
Chastity's. Same thing as XYZ. And so with limitations, whether it's food aversions, we have a lot of people that's like, hey, I just don't like almost anything. Um,
Right.
yeah, autoimmune sucks. Or other, psoriasis and arthritis can be autoimmune, or it could be a variety of different things. But those are all things that we're inclined to help you with. So if you are on the fence and just want to talk to me and Courtney, feel free to set up a call. We'll see if we're the right fit for you. If we can't help you, or we think we can't help you, which is very, 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 very rare, then we will be 100% upfront and transparent with you, because I don't want you to invest in something and be like, hey, I can't do this. Like, what are you trying to do? That being said, 99.9% of people, we come up with sustainable lifestyle changes no matter what the limitation is.
Okay. Are you able to take another question?
Yeah, I got a good five, ten
Okay.
more minutes. So
Um,
we'll keep going.
okay. So Lynn wants to know, were you able to help non-responders to GLP
Yes.
patients?
So, um, non-responders, we really focus on the optimization of hormones and metabolism. I always like to ask when I do seminars, I'm like, hey, whose metabolism sucks? And everybody raises their hand. And like, oh, whose hormones suck? And everybody raises their hands. Well, there's a lot of things from a nutrition and nutrient standpoint and exercise that we can kind of optimize the metabolism to get you burning more fat, losing more weight, and optimize some hormones, whether it's insulin resistance, whether it's cortisol based issues, whether it's low testosterone, which can, for men and women, can cause you to not burn as much fat and energy, or hypothyroidism, or whatever it might be. We would focus on what the root issue is that's making weight loss hard. Even if you're non-responder from a weight loss perspective, you are getting the benefit from blood sugar and insulin regulation, which is very important for your weight loss journey. So we would kind of focus on what's holding you back. Let's figure this out together, and that would be kind of the approach. But what sucks is, and I say this all the time, because of the algorithm, everybody is a hyper responder. Everybody loses 100 pounds in
Right.
6 months. GLP-1. Everybody, does this, or this. We don't hear as much about struggles as we hear about success, and it gets in our head, right? And so
Right.
the next thing we know is I'm a failure because I follow XYZ on TikTok and they lost 100 pounds. We got to
Mm-hmm.
remember average weight loss. Average. This is according to data provided by the manufacturers to get FDA approval. If it was more than that, they would be showcasing this. The average weight loss for semaglutide is somewhere around 35 pounds over the journey of the meds. That's over 16 months, 35 pounds. That's 2 pounds a month. We look at the tirzepatide studies, and it's somewhere around 50 pounds over the course of 18 months, which is 3 pounds a month. And so a lot of people think they're non responders when they're really just losing at the rate that the studies say you should lose. We immediately get in our brain, like, hey, I only lost a
Yep.
pound this week. It's not working. Well, a pound a week
Mm-hmm.
is 50 a year. That's more than what the FDA studies say you should lose. And so we get in this mindset that we're a failure because we're not losing the same amount as somebody that's on TikTok, and we got to break that habit. And that's one of the
Yep.
things I try to stress almost every live I have is average weight loss on GLP-1 isn't as much as what people think it is. So that's tough.
It is. And mindset matters. And we definitely have to get out of our heads and stop comparing, because TikTok and, like you said, the super responders will have you guessing and just thinking like, am I doing all the things? Maybe I need to tweak this, or maybe I need to do that. And you're already doing all the things, right? But you're looking at the super responders and just like, okay, what am I doing wrong? But you're saying that most of the time people are already doing all the things and the medication is working. They're just comparing themselves to other people.
Oh yeah, my best friend
Got it.
Greg. My best friend Greg lifts one weight one time and his arms get bigger. And your boy isn't known for his arm development. So I'm here like chugging along, 6 days a week,
Right.
and his arms are 10 times bigger than mine. So genetics suck. I say this all the time, guys, and I really mean it because I have trauma in my life. I go to therapy, I got mental health in my family. Like, I didn't ask for trauma. I didn't ask for
Right.
anxiety. I didn't ask for depression. Courtney didn't ask for PCOS. Nobody asked for autoimmune disorders. Nobody asked for cancer. Nobody asked for a variety of health things. Sometimes
Right.
we got screwed. The lottery was not in our favor, right? However, luckily in 2024, the vast majority of those conditions we do have solutions for, whether it's GLP-1, whether it's, really honed in diet, exercise, nutrients, whatever it might be. So what I always tell people is I want you to accept that, and this is very important, guys. I want you to accept that you were dealt a bad hand, and I want you to cry over it a little bit, and then I want you to say, you know what, I'm going to beat this, and then come up with a plan to be successful. Because luckily, like I have to go to therapy. If I don't go to therapy, Lord knows, right? And so
Right.
once we take it that what we were given a bad hand. This is not something I would ever ask for. Okay, let's beat it. And so that's
Right.
kind of my mindset is that sometimes it just sucks. It's not fair. It's not, and
Right.
but we can overcome it, and whether it's help through us or the resources we have with friends and family and therapy and doctors and finding the good doctor. That's one of the biggest struggles, definitely. But
Right. I
love that,
again,
Dorothy.
listen. You are preaching to the choir over here because so many of us, me, so many of us have done that and have gotten off of course because I was comparing myself to other people and just like, but I've embraced being on Team Turtle. Let me tell you, Team Turtle is a vibe. I am so enjoying it because what I'm learning is if I hadn't, if I had lost the weight really quickly, I wouldn't be doing all the things mentally. I probably wouldn't be able to enjoy the journey as much as I am, right? Like I have my days. Don't get me wrong. I am human. I have my days. But for the most part, I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying learning that I needed to learn how to have a better relationship with food. I think sometimes when you lose it too quickly, you don't get to learn that. So I am embracing being on Team Turtle because guess what? I really don't have a choice. My body didn't respond to it quickly anyway. So you might as well embrace the journey that you're in. Again, thank you so much, Dustin. If you're not following Dustin, give him a follow, sign up, even if you do, the consultation, get the information, hook up with them, follow Courtney, follow everyone. This isn't a follow live, this isn't a follow room, but we get ready to turn it into one. I want everyone to follow each other. Make sure you're following me because I'm going to be bringing you these every Saturday morning for the month of November. But make sure that you give him a follow. And like I said, even if you do a consult, follow Lulu, follow Bloom. These are people that he's helped. And sometimes we need that motivation from someone who's gone through the experience already. So give them a follow also. I want to officially welcome you into Team TMI, Dustin. You are an official member of Team TMI. Again, I thank you for taking time out of your Saturday to come and share your hacks and tips and tricks and just share everything with us. You are welcome to
Guys,
stay and hang out in the chat. I'm gonna bring some of my friends up and we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about all the things.
well, guys, I couldn't appreciate you more. My favorite thing in the world is education, and then money. I'm kidding. Education is literally my favorite. I love talking to people. If you all do any lives and want me to jump on, just message me. I'm eager to help. If you need
Okay.
help, message me. Seriously, I will give you what I can until I can't give you any more information without you signing up. I'm about this community. I work in weight loss management. This is something that I've focused on for the last 22 years. I always give the example. I've been 30 pounds overweight, but I was the smallest kid in school. I got picked on ridiculously as a kid because guess what? I'm a nerd, and plus, I wasn't 100 pounds until high school. And so I was a kid that got
Wow.
beat up. So I don't like to relate my story directly to those who struggle on the other side, but I
Right.
understand the ridicule. I understand the crying when you get home from school because people picked on you. Heck, I didn't have my first girlfriend till I was 17. Like I was emotionally beaten for my size and things like that. And although it is different, I'm not 100% correlating it. I have Courtney that
Right.
was over 300 pounds when she started working with me. So
Right.
if you don't relate to me, you probably will relate to Courtney, or you'll relate to
Right.
Andrea, or you'll relate to Jessica, or one of our other coaches that can definitely help you. So if I can help you, you let me know. That's my goal. By the way, we just was awarded 3-time weight loss coaching practice of the year this week. So we're definitely
Congratulations.
Thank you. We keep winning, and it's because of people like you all that support the business and support our education and all that good stuff. So I love you guys. I say it every live. I love you all. I do. Sometimes you just got to hear it. Maybe a 41-year-old from West Virginia with a weird accent tells you they love you. I do. I love absolutely every person. I want you to do amazing. I want you to do great things in your life. And if I can help you get there, it would be my honor. So,
Okay. Well, Team TMI works out Monday through Friday from 6:30 to 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes we go to 8 o'clock, sometimes 9. But yeah, if you want to ever jump in, feel free while we're working out in the morning.
well, I appreciate y'all guys. Y'all have a magnificent Saturday, and we will
You
talk to you soon.
too. Enjoy the game. Have a good day. Bye.
He's going to ball out. I talked to him. I said, I need you to ball out if we're going to win this game. He
I
stopped.
know
So
that's right.
he's going to
Yes,
go Michael
sir.
Jordan today. He's ruthless around the ball court. I don't know what happened, but he's ready to rock and roll. So love you guys. Talk to you soon.
All right. Love you too. Thanks.
Bye bye.
Okay. Let me bring you guys. Hey, team. What's going on? I so appreciate